I figured I'd go over some of my old house rules that I did for Labyrinth Lord. And some of these were a little over the top, and some of them I really liked. Like the hit point one. Characters get maximum hit points at level 1. At each level up, the character rolls his entire new hit dice, adding constitution modifiers, and takes this roll if it is higher than the current hit point total, or keeping the existing hit point total if that's higher. Example, 11 level 5 with 14 con gets 9, and at level 2 he rolls 2d8 plus 2 for hit points, keeping 9 hit points if the new roll is lower. This was fun. And it was lowering a lot of dice. It also meant that sometimes you didn't get no hit points blowing up a level. And that was kind of fun too. My players hated it. But until they realized at name level, even when you're getting those +2 at a time, you got to re-roll your dice pool. And maybe you improved it in them later levels. It was all random. It created a completely median hit point total eventually. Was interesting. Attribute rolls, we tried this D6 method, and I saw it brought up today about using the bell curve. And this bell curve was 2d6 versus the stat for easy stuff. So it's easy, but if you have a 12 or less stat, there was a chance of failure, which I ended up not liking. And I thought I should probably redo these later. And I've never revisited this since. Average 3d6 versus your stat. Difficult 4d6. Very difficult 5d6, 6d6. And I had people roll 7d6 versus their 16s and 17 stats and do crazy stuff. I would just say, oh, you want to do a backflip in the damn plate mill and karate kick? Sure, make me a 9 possible. Oh, crap, I guess you're doing backflips. And then their argument was like, if I do it a lot, I should be able to do it all the time, right? No. Helmets, I still use this rule. I just never talk about it. If you're wearing a helmet and something hits your head, I ignore it. If you're not wearing a helmet and I have a situation where your noggin is hit, there are repercussions. This other one here, weapon damage is class damage, seemed like a great idea at the time. I'll never do it again. D4 wizards using a regular size weapon did D4 damage, so they could use the +2 broadsword just like anyone else, but they did D4 swing, and rogues did D6 a swing, and fighters did D8. It prevents certain. I think I liked it on a certain level to where any weapon was usable by any class, but it just didn't work out that well. It was a little extra, and two-handed weapons were 1 dice shift up. So a wizard using a two-handed weapon did D6, and a fighter did D10 using a two-handed weapon. So you had certain weapons that were never ever used were used fairly regular. Didn't matter. I allowed small weapons to do class damage for rogues, which meant daggers did D6. That kind of bit me in the butt, but it was an interesting exercise, and I change up these house rules all the time for my campaign. What works, what works, it doesn't. First aid. After combat, players may be bandaged and regain 1 hit point per level of target using bandages and failed dressings. These are part of a healing kit and cost 1 gold piece of use. This became a little much. If I used proper encumbrance, it probably wouldn't have been that big a deal. I've been pressured by my players to reintroduce this for extra healing, since I only allow single memorization of spells, which means only 1 cure light wounds per cleric, and became more of a resource management. It took a turn. It was heavily resource dependent, but they were using it on damage that you wouldn't get hit points back. And I've already started my games where I would reintroduce these for some of them that are really digging their way into the Underdark and stuff. Base movement, well, That's my raise. One last breath. Now this was so much fun. It was a chart I found on someone's blog. And you could roll this whenever you went into negative once per session. And then they just dropped a D12. And 1 in 6 chance, 2 in 1. You're just dead. Sorry about your luck. You didn't get the lottery this time. And then at 11 to 12, you got up, you got D4 hit points back, you're ready to play. But in the middle, and like 7 below was bad. But you were getting minuses to your stats that lasted a week. You had ability damage. We had a lot of scarring. Before it's over, you have a lot of gimps running around your game, and they're just, they get retired. We had one guy playing a wizard, though, an elf wizard, and every time he rolled on this, he got worse and worse, and the more vile and evil he became more and more better based upon his physical defects from adventuring. Even wore his eyeball around his neck once he had it bronzed to where his eyeball got shot out by a goblin. I don't use... This one that I've stuck with. I don't limit the total number of languages you can learn, only the initial ones. Your int modifier is how many you can know at creation, but if you take the time with a situation and immersion, you can learn unlimited number of languages, and I don't care what your intelligence is, because I've actually personally met lots of idiots who speak 7 languages, and they are dumbasses. They are really, really dumb people, but they speak fluent 7 languages. I think it's a matter of immersion and necessity. Uh-oh. Someone's getting grumpy. Let me finish this little video there, Fletch. Now this one, I allowed stat bonuses to saving throws based upon the relevant ability, like strength, could be for stone door. It was on exorcism for paralysis and everything. An int was allowed for mind affecting, wisdom for hilltop bonuses and save versus items and stuff. It just ended up making everybody make their saving throws almost guaranteed after the 4th level, 5th level, and I didn't like that. I had a carousing rule before carousing rules were popular. I just called it elves and winches, and you can live it up by spending D6 100, and you got extra experience. That's all it was. Encourage people to do something between sessions instead of just being couch potatoes or running back out on adventure. This one has stuck. Heroic Send-Off. And without it, I really think my characters would leave all their dead PCs laying in the gutter, stripped of their magic items. Completely. If you build tombs and you have a heroic send-off for your party members, you get their new character that come back got XP. And it was 100 gold pieces times the level of the stiff that each person could donate. I think I modified that over time, but that way they could come back with bonus XP and not be in that death grind to where you come back as a first level character over and over and get unlucky a lot, right? And if they put magic items and stuff in there with them, relevant to their class, they came back with a bonus 1,000. And for each party member that did that for them, they came back with more XP. And the other stuff's class stuff, which doesn't matter because this was all when I was playing Labyrinth Lord. But those were some generic house rules that I had, and I tried with Labyrinth Lord, which I had varying degrees of success with. So I recommend. That's my toe, bro. Ooh. Anyway, gotta get back to wrestling a toddler. Not toddler, he's a baby. 11-month-old. Is that toddler or baby? Ah, my toe! He's attacking my toe! Stop it, Fletcher! No! Anyway, game well, game often, guys. I just ran across this, digging through and straightening up my room, and thought I'd share it, especially as I saw people talking about the ability roll thing. And using multiple D6s for stat rolls versus the bell curve. I like the idea, but for higher rolls using multiple dice, it's something. And it's something I'd highly recommend maybe at a table game as opposed to virtual, because there's a lot of fun in rolling all those dice. It's like playing Orcs in 40K. You want the mountain of D6, or playing Champions, where you throw like 20 D6. It's fun. We enjoy tossing all we enjoy the clickety clack. All right, I got my hands full. I need to get back to this. He's going nuts. Fletcher, calm down. Calm down, Fletcher.